And in the U.S., I thought I was enjoying my life, but I didn't realize that all of my time and effort and energy was going to build that dream, in the U.S. to even be in the game, to even go out on a date, or you know what I mean. You have to worry about what your car is and your clothes, and you have to know.
It's very hard for them to take the first step,
Yeah.
So, do you experience that before? Like, it's hard.
Taking the first step?
Yeah.
I experienced the frustration of not knowing how to take the first step, but not knowing what to do. I was very frustrated. I think for 7 or 8 years, when I figured out I wanted to. Once I started watching YouTube and watching people living overseas and hearing what they were living on, I was frustrated because I thought, forgive me, those bastards. I'm making this money and I have this going on, and I have my shit together, and they're over there living on $1,000 a month, and I'm seeing the food they're eating and what they're doing. It's like bullshit, man. And so I was on the hunt. Like, how do I do? What would my life have been if I was still in the U.S.? This is Dan of Vagabond Awake.
This is Chang from 𝗏 Venture.
And we took a 3-day weekend. We left Da Nang and came to Hoi An to celebrate my birthday.
Yeah, happy birthday.
Thank you. When I turned 60, which was 5 years ago, Chung said, let's do a video of you talking about being 60 years old. And so we were on a mountain just south of Dumaguete in the Philippines. But we did that 5 years ago, and she's like, let's do it again this year. So here we sit. We were going to try to do it by the pool because it's a beautiful pool. It was a shaded pool with all this greenery and flowers. And but there were all these kids that were just screaming, and so we couldn't do it.
Yeah, I love the pool. Is with the Hoi An architecture, yellow color, and we are in one of the old town buildings.
Yeah.
It's very beautiful. But anyway, back to our topics. How long you been traveling outside your country?
I left the U.S. I think it was in February of 2007, and it'll be 19 years next February that I left the U.S.
So you are 65 now?
65 years old, yeah.
So how you feel?
I feel great. I feel the same as I did when I was 35. I think 35 to 45. I don't mean like I don't feel like I'm capable of doing what I could when I was 35 or 45. But I wake up in the morning and I feel pretty good, is what I mean. And so physically, I don't feel that different. I mean, when I look in the mirror, I sometimes look like my dad now. I don't really feel much different.
I don't think I feel you are very different. So, do you think that you are living on your dream life?
Well, so the question, are you living your dream life? For me, it's a historical question. Like, what was your dream, and now are you fulfilling it? Mm-hmm. So my dream was to have a nice house, paid off cars, swimming pool in the backyard, maybe a cabin in the mountains, and then to travel maybe 3 months of the year, go over to Europe for 2 weeks, go to Southeast Asia for 2 weeks, maybe go to Vail, Colorado, ski for a couple of weeks. Am I living that dream? No, I'm not living that dream. Is the energy it would have taken me to get where I was to there, and then to have those 3 months to travel and have that house, and is that the last 20 years outside the U.S., would I go back and do all that in order to make all that happen and be 65 or 70 years old? If I could do it at all, who knows, right? Whether or not I could accomplish it. Would I go back now and try to do that, or would I take what I've got? It's a no-brainer. So my dreams, no thank you. I'll take this. This having the world as your playground all year round. And also, after being outside the U.S., great country, so happy I was born there and grew up, and family and friends and all that. Now when I'm there, it's not just the money part of it. It has a lot of great things and great people. It's a little too materialistic for my taste now.
Yeah, but so do you think that you are living in your dream life now?
Yeah, I would say I dream up my life every morning when I get up now. That's it's a great way to ask that question, because before, my dream was something in the future.
Yeah.
That I thought, if I get enough money and if I do everything right, and if I figure it all out, it's complicated. You got to pay the tax. You got to follow these rules, jump through these hoops. You got to make that person happy. You have to make all this stuff you have to do. And then one day, you're going to get this dream that this freedom dream. that's off in the future somewhere? Or do you want to wake up every morning and have, like, say, what do I want to do today? Like, where do I want to go? What do I want to eat? Not someday, but today. So this dream is better than that dream because it's real.
Yeah.
And it's every day. And that dream was it wasn't really my dream. I mean, I thought it was my dream at the time.
Mm-hmm. What kind of dream are you talking now?
This, going back to the old dream,
yeah.
big house, pool in the backyard,
yeah.
3-car garage, but all that stuff is like, now when I look back at it,
mm-hmm.
it's like, I don't even want a car now. Like, you can't put it in the check bag,
yeah.
And do I want to have like a house at home that's just sitting vacant and
mm-hmm.
when I'm gone all year? No, like that dream is made sense when I had it because I didn't know there was this other life available. But now that this is available, it's like if you said to me, you've won the grand prize, you get the house, you get the cabin, you get all this stuff,
mm-hmm.
but you have to live in the US 9 months of the year and you can travel the other 3, I would say, no, thank you. Next, you know what I mean? It's like, I'd take this life.
Yeah.
This is my dream life, is what I'm saying. This is better than that dream.
The time about 10 years ago, I met Dan. And right now, he still can go out dancing all night long. If that plays playing the hip hop music, he's still dancing all night long. And me, I couldn't dance anymore. I'm the one who's sitting down, have my beer.
Yeah, I like old school hip hop. The new stuff with all the electronics doesn't really do it for me. But when I hear old school hip hop, I have no trouble dancing. I grew up on rock and roll, but in the 80s, I ended up going to a few nightclubs that were playing hip hop, and it really stuck. That's the music I like to dance to. The
time when I met you, when I asked you how long you've been traveling outside the US, and the time you was like, I can't remember, 12, 13, or 11 years, I think.
13 probably, yeah.
Yeah, and then now I traveling with you already is almost like 7 years, 8 years.
7. Yeah, it's coming up on 8.
Yeah. So wow, it's been a long time.
Yeah.
Do you really miss home?
Do I really or rarely?
Yeah, my pronunciation is not really good.
Well, I'm sorry, I wasn't making fun of that.
No, but I have to let them know because English is not my first language, and English also is not my second language. It's my third language. So.
Yeah, I doubt it. It's probably your 5th or 6th or 7th language, honestly. Yeah, so that's a long time ago. I left the U.S. I don't really miss the U.S. The first few years, I've always missed friends and family.
Yeah.
But I go back and see them, every other year, every third year. During COVID, that was kind of a long time. I didn't go see them, but
mm-hmm.
but I try to get back, try to make weddings and important family things.
Mm-hmm.
I don't always make it, but it's so. With social media now, you kind of always know what's going on with your family and your friends, and so that part of it. And in the U.S., people are so spread out. I mean, you may be born in one state, you live
mm-hmm.
in 2 or 3 states your whole life. So,
yeah.
And now in my family, 4 kids, 2 of us live overseas. I have a sister who lives in Scotland. She left the U.S. I think in '98, before me even.
Oh.
So. We meet not always in the U.S. For her 60th birthday, we met in Scotland.
When we visit her for a few times already, 3 times at least.
Yeah.
Yeah, 3 times.
So families around the world, friends are around the world, and I've made friends since leaving the U.S. all over the world. So it's fun to go back to places and visit and see old friends.
Mm-hmm.
So it feels good.
So how or what is life would look like if you didn't leave the USA?
Wow, it's hard for me to say that really, because I'm kind of I have a short attention span.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm always going through changes in my life of one kind or another. So, and that's such a long period of time, 18 years, who knows where I would have ended up. But when I was a kid, I figured when I retired, I would travel the world. I would maybe live in the US 9 months of the year and travel the other 3.
Mm-hmm.
But when I got the opportunity to work overseas, and I first lived in India for almost 3 years, around 3, maybe 2.5 years.
Mm-hmm.
And then I left, and I've just been traveling around the world since. I'm a slow traveler. That means I try to stay in a place long enough to get to know it. I don't just, spend a week. I like some sort of change or chaos in my life. And so it's sort of a natural lifestyle for me. And I feel really comfortable in it. I just feel like I'm always learning something new. I think the bottom line for me is I just like constant learning. And when you're in countries, you have to figure out what food you're going to eat and where you're going to stay and how do they do things differently. How do you cross the street,
Yeah.
Which matters in some countries like Vietnam. How you cross, actually, in most of Southeast Asia, how you cross the street is different than in Western countries.
Yeah.
That's just a stupid example, but so it's constant learning. And it's really fascinating to see that the world is really different visually. The architecture, the art, the food, the landscape often is quite different. But when you get down to it, I think the people are pretty much similar on the inside. They're all, to a large extent. Now, there's people on the margin that don't fit this. Extra good people and extra bad people. But if you look at the 80% in the center around the world, these are people that are interested in being kind to each other, that worry about their family and their friends and their neighbors. And that part of humanity is pretty common around the world. So it's nice to see that, because growing up in the U.S., we're often told that we're the best country in the world. It's in our movies, it's in our literature, it's prolific in our lives. So we just assume that we're in the best country in the world. So it must be dangerous if you go to other places. So people are weird, they're eating weird food, they have different religions. You have these thoughts about how the world is.
I remember that.
Could be jacked up. And so you leave and you're like, and then a couple of years later, you're like, well, I haven't been mugged, I haven't been ripped off.
Touch wood.
Touch wood, yeah. And you find out like these people are good-hearted, and that country's good-hearted, and this country's good-hearted, that country's good-hearted, and pretty much you realize that humans value predictability, they value trust and love and all that stuff that is in American movies. And there's differences, like I said, on the margins, but as a whole, people are good all over the world.
Yeah, can I share the one story?
Sure.
It's about me, that's because you say about that, when you're in US, you think the world is dangerous. So during the COVID time, you're flying back to US first. I think, it's because of your family, your mom. And then after that, I'm only go to meet you in Mexico. And so my friend told me you're going to be by yourself in Mexico City? And she said that, do not step out from the hotel room. I was like, well, I've been to Mexico and I've been to Mexico City, okay? I said,
and you left the hotel room?
I left the hotel room. I was like, I need to find something, I was so excited. We are very enjoying the time in 𝗙𝗢𝗪𝗓 for 6-7 months. So I'm very happy with that, but I would like to see some difference, some change, So I left the hotel room, but because when I arrived in Mexico City, it was too late. So the supermarket is already been closed and there's no mini market surrounding. Because what I want to get a beer. I just want to go out and feel the difference, So that is, your stories remind me of that. And my friend said, do not step out of Mexico City hotel. I was like, okay.
So people have this idea in their head that the grass is greener on the other side of the hill. So that's like a positive view of the other. And the negative view is it's safe here, but it's dangerous out there. And so it's kind of a mixed up view of the world people have.
I would say it's just because first, they're also concerned about my safety. The travel alone. And second, because there's a lot of, the good news is never separate outside the country. Only the bad news is spread out to, outside country. So I understand what they worry about.
Absolutely,
So it's just always like that, But one thing, I use a common sense when I travel. I don't go on the dark alley by myself. I only go with a more like Brighton's or more people areas. So I will not isolate myself.
And that wasn't your first time in Mexico. You've already been there twice, I think.
I think. And before that, we were traveling around Mexico.
We've been all over Mexico by that time.
So it's very nice. So now you are 65, and the last time we make a video is you are 60. So do you see what is the difference or what is the change in this 5 years, from 60 to 65, and what is your plan for yourself after the 65? What is your plan for your next 5 years?
Yeah. So what's different? When I was 60,
Yeah.
I was a slow traveler, and I'm still a slow traveler.
That's why you're still a slow traveler.
I just enjoy going to new countries and discovering life around the world. So that hasn't really changed. I think now I like spending a little more time maybe in each place. That's become more clear. The slow part of slow travel, I think you really need to spend a minimum of 2 weeks, hopefully a month in every place you go. So that's become more clear to me. Early on I knew that, but it's just more clear now that it's not really. Even if often it's because you only have a 30-day visa and there's 4 places you want to see, so you have to do a week, and it's really not doing it justice. It's better to just do 2 weeks, or 1 month, and then go somewhere else and come back. Yeah,
I'm agree about that.
Yeah, so that's different. I guess not much is different, honestly. I mean, I feel good. I enjoy travel. I feel safe. 5 years later, and there's been some inflation around the world. Yeah, I think the inflation is worse in the U.S. than it is in other places.
Okay.
The U.S. is getting hammered on inflation. It's been true now for since 22, I think. I'm not sure why that's the case. I'm not an economist, but I've noticed it's easier outside of the U.S. to adjust to inflation.
Just speak of that, you was just visiting your friend and your family on this year. I think it's on February, something like
February,
that. So, what you feel when you back to visiting your friends on back to stage, and how you feel when you're over there?
I went and visited family. There was a marriage in the family I wanted to attend, and I was invited to, of course. And I've had a really great time seeing family. And then I went to see one of my oldest friends, one of my longest friends. I just noticed this stuff's just way more expensive there. It's gone up in price more than other parts of the world. I think that part of that is spend most of my time in countries that the cost of living is much lower. I think it's just because the locals outside of the U.S. have less ability to pay a price. If a price doubles on something, they're not going to go anymore. Like, for example, a good example is restaurants. Yeah. If a price doubles, if your income is $300 a month and you live in, say, Vietnam, which is, that's like minimum wage, and you're living on $300 a month, and your meals go from like $1.50 to $3, you don't just chug along. You go, okay, now I have to shop in the public market and cook at home until you adjust in order to keep your budget at $300 because your wages haven't gone up, which is also generally true in the U.S., although there's been some wage increase. So, but in the U.S., I think people just like march along. Oh, $7 for a bag of chips now, $9. Like a Subway sandwich is now $7. When I left the U.S., it was like $1.99 or something. The U.S. just is somehow people are able to live it somehow. I don't know how they do it.
So you feel pressure when you're back and then you see the price that you want to eat something, you will see the price. Oh God, that price when I eat in Vietnam is only $1. In Malaysia, only $3 maybe. Yeah. In Thailand, it's maybe $2. What kind of food? So it's like,
you just don't want to pay it. I mean, once you, and it's also a quality thing. I think the portions are smaller, which is probably a good thing in the U.S. because the portions are so big, But the portions are getting smaller, the price is going up, and then you realize, oh, I can eat this in Thailand or Vietnam for $2, And why do I want to pay $12 or $20?
Plus, you need to add on the tips. They have minimum tips.
Yeah,
you
of
cannot
course.
escape that, huh?
Yeah, and there's some tipping in Southeast Asia, but it's not anything like the U.S.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think what would my life have been if I was still in the U.S. I think I probably, instead of traveling overseas, I probably would have started my own business. And so long as I had change and something I could learn, something I'm excited about, I probably would have been fine in the U.S. And I would have had to make a lot more money in order to live the sort of lifestyle I live, in order to have the freedom to, we wander around the planet, go wherever we want next. And we're not like high rollers, we're not spending crazy money. Yeah. So we have a lot of freedom outside the U.S. I've always been adaptive. I probably would have started a business and been okay. Once you've at least for me. It's not everyone. For me, once I left the U.S. and I started to realize I was just, instead of like work. Oh, it's, you got 3 hours off and then maybe you have Saturday off and then Sunday. I'm like enjoying my life now. And in the U.S., I thought I was enjoying my life, but I didn't realize that all of my time and effort and energy was going to build that dream, to compete with, get the right car and clothes and shoes and all that. Although I wasn't really materialistic, but I mean, in the US, to even be in the game, to even go out on a date, or, you know what I mean? You have to worry about what your car is and your clothes, and have to know something about wines or, whatever. And when I wander around the rest of the world, you just kind of show up and figure out how people live there and watch what's going on. And just the money isn't flying out of your pockets. And it's not all about money. It's really about, there's so much less pressure in your life when you don't have to spend so much of your energy worried about money. It's just sort of like pressure off your shoulders.
And this is a life that a lot of people dream about that. They want to be traveling the world, go to experience different country, different food. Yeah. But it's very hard for them to take the first step,
Yeah.
So do you experience that before? Like, it's hard.
Taking the first step?
Yeah.
I experienced the frustration of not knowing how to take the first step, but not knowing what to do. I was very frustrated. I think for 7 or 8 years, when I figured out I wanted to. Once I started watching YouTube and watching people living overseas and hearing what they were living on, I was frustrated. And so I was on the hunt. Like, how do I make money so I can do it? And so I watched YouTube videos and tried to figure out how to start an online business. I read this book called The 4-Hour Work Week, which is a guy who talks about, Tim Ferriss. He talks about he had a special name for it, I forget, but it's like a web page that makes money or whatever. And so I read that stuff, and it took me a long time to make it all happen. And so it wasn't easy.
Yeah.
But once I had money following me wherever I went in the world, it was like, it was just such a relief.
I remember that. Yeah. And I remember that you're working also very hard because you put on the video, 5 video a week, you just put it on.
For 5 years.
Yeah.
Or was it 5 years? It was 4 years. Well, I did it for like 6 months, and then I got a new contract, and then for a year I took off, and then I went back at it.
Yeah.
And then it was 5 videos a week. I think it was 18 months. I'm just going from memory now, but and then finally the money was coming in fast enough to pay our $1,000 a month goal or whatever we were trying to live on.
And also, I want to say that that is a thing is whenever you want to do something, you have to be consistent.
Oh,
that is one of the key of successful. You know?
And I've always had that capability. I'm one of these people who can totally ignore everything around me and just focus on something. And like a pit bull, like never let up, just bite it hard and keep biting and, just go. Yeah,
but you also have put a money for this travel.
Yeah.
If you out the money, and you will move back to US.
Yeah,
I still remember
when I lost when my last contract ended, and I said I will never have a job again. Yeah, I hope. And I don't remember how much. I think it was like 40,000 in savings. And I said, when this money is gone, I'm going to go get a job.
And also you did say one that we only can spend 2,000 a month.
Yeah.
And I was like, 2,000 a month? Come on, it's 1,000 a month.
Yeah.
There's a lot for 2,000. Let's make it a 1,000. That's why we go on for Airbnb. Back then, you still can find Airbnb. Or the hotel is less than $10 a night.
Yeah. In like Peru, I think. And in a few other spots.
Ecuador
not in the
also.
US,
Yeah. So we both just make it work,
Yeah, we grinded it out. It was either 3 years of 5 videos a week. And I'm not sure that was the right way. I mean, some people just do 1 video a week and they get a lot of views, but I wasn't getting a lot of views. If you go back and look at my first couple years of videos, it wasn't unusual for me to only get like 25 or 30 views on a video, but just kept grinding at it. And eventually it took, I mean, you get a lot of credit for it because when we threw you in a bikini and had you marching down the beach, suddenly everyone was interested in my travels.
I just quit my life not to be on the camera and now have a bag on the camera. It's taken me a lot off on the camera because I was scared when I listened to my voice out from the, the phone, the TV, the everything is, even right now, I still have answers to be facing the camera and talk.
Totally. You'll get anxious for it before every video.
Yeah, still until now. Okay. So I'm still very anxious about that.
Yeah.
That's not my thing.
Yeah.
But we have a good time when we are going all these, those like, I'm trying to find the cheaper accommodation that we can get.
Cheap food, cheap apartments. People think, why is he always talking about cheap, cheap, cheap? I have money. Yeah, I want to hear about the money places. I'm like, we didn't have money. That wasn't one of the options. We're not going to go rent a $50 a night hotel, unless we had to, because it was the last hotel in town and we had a flight we had to take somewhere the next day or whatever. Yeah, so cheap for us was survival. It meant no job for me, which is all I cared about. I did not want to be, forgive me, someone else's bitch again. I mean, I'd had enough of it. And my bosses were cool. It's not like these were bad people. But just having to show up somewhere and do someone else's bidding instead of being in charge of your own life. It's a big difference.
So we talk about your 60 and now you are 65. So what do you think what will be happen if you're in 70?
I don't think it'll be very different. I just feel very comfortable in this life. We go to new cities and we go back to places we love. And I still love them. Yeah. And, things change, prices change, sometimes we have to move to a different part of the city or something we have to change in order to make it still feel good.
One thing that I need to say, when we go back to our place, our favorite place, the restaurant people, the apartment people, already remember us. Like, we was just in the restaurant, and in Vietnam, and then the waitress said, welcome back. I was like, really? They really recognize us, Yeah. And then so I asked, do you really recognize us, And then she said, yeah, you come on this table. I was like, yes, I was always on that table,
Yeah. So, and we always wondered, she probably saw one of our videos or something.
I have no idea.
But she didn't mention it, so we don't know.
Yeah.
But, so, I guess we stick out a little bit. Well, a 6-foot Asian, model. You kind of stick out, especially in Asia. You're taller than the men here.
So it's just like when you say about that, we go back to the, the places.
So 70, I don't know. I think it'll just be more of the same. I think as long as I'm healthy and I can move, why would I want to sit in one place? I mean, I get it. Maybe when I'm 70, the period of time will be 1 month minimum instead of 2 weeks or 2 months. Or I only want to live in 4 countries a year now. I could see it slowing down more. Yeah. And maybe it'll be just like we've been everywhere. We've written reports and updates about cost of living in all these places. And now we're only going to go to 4 places a year, 3 months each. It could be something like that. Yeah. But sit in one place, eat in the same restaurants, shop in the same place. I don't see that. I think I like a little chaos in my life. I like surprises. I like change. The change, I think, is what helps me not have boredom. If I do the same thing over and over, like boredom sneaks into my life, and then it's like I have to figure out something else. I start a business or do something, and that. So for me. But, I could see some point in my health. I don't know. My dad lived till 78. So I could see some point wanting to slow down, just for health reasons. But I don't really see that anytime soon. And that's why we keep doing this. And you're the same way. I mean, you get bored too.
I do.
Yeah. We both get bored.
Yeah.
So I don't know. 70s we're going to be the same, I think.
I think 70 you still will be dancing on some clubs still. And I'm too old to move. I'm still drinking a beer and watching my boy dancing.
You'll be in a wheelchair.
You'll be in a wheelchair. Bye-bye.
Hey, thanks for watching this video. If you'd like to get my free ebook about how to fire your boss and travel the world forever, click the thing on screen now for that. And if you want to watch the video when I turned 60, when we were on that mountain overlooking the ocean, Watch over here. If you'd like my free ebook about how I fired my boss and traveled the world for 17 years and how I pay for things, come to Vagabond Buddha and grab the free ebook.